Hello, I'm Dr. Crawford. Today I want to talk a little bit about stress-induced low back pain. And the point I want to make right off the bat is low back pain is never just about the back, unless you had a trauma, you got hit by a truck or something. Otherwise, it's never just about the back. There's much more to the story than that. And this is a good example. So stress-induced low back pain, generally the person comes in, they've got pain. Many times they'll point like right here, but they can't describe what happened. I don't know. I haven't done anything different. There's no single incident that I can think of, and just, out of the blue. And that's what I hear often with stress-induced low back pain. So what will happen is when somebody's under a lot of stress, maybe the body can compensate for a while, but after a while they start losing the battle, and the internal stress starts overcoming one's internal resistance, and that's when symptoms start to come about. But it also makes one very vulnerable to hurting themselves for no reason. They might just bend down and a knee will go out, or what have you. They'll do something they've done a million times before, no problem in the past, but this one time they go out and they do a run that should have been no problem. Their knee swells up like this. That's typical of what will happen when the body's under stress. So our major stress gland in the body is our adrenal glands. They sit right above the kidneys. And our adrenal glands secrete cortisol, stress hormones, and it serves a very valuable purpose. If we're running away from a tiger, it's it'll save our life. But we're not designed to be secreting stress hormone 24/7, and that's the way a lot of people are living. And sooner or later, we're going to pay a price for that. We're going to hit the wall. It might be physical pain, or it might be a disease. So when I'm trying to figure somebody out and I want to find out the source of their problem, remember, it's never just about the back. There's some tests that I want to do. And I know from my studies in the early 60s of applied kinesiology, there's muscle organ correlations. And these correlations have withstood the test of time. And that is to say that with the adrenal glands, there are certain muscles that have a likelihood of being in a state of dysfunction. So Nicole here is going to help me out today, and I'll show you one of the major ones, and that is the sartorius muscle, which is a medial knee stabilizer, but it's also a pelvis stabilizer because it attaches up here at the pelvis. And what will happen if that muscle is in a weak state? What will happen is the sacroiliac joint on the back side will go posterior, and a lot of times that's where the patient is experiencing the pain, is on the back side. Okay, so if I'm to test that muscle, I'm going to bring the knee up and out. I'm going to have Nicole hold the foot in, and I'm going to test out, and we'll just pretend here because it's strong on Nicole. But if it wasn't, it would give and it would be weak like this. So my approach then would be to, number one, I'm going to confirm that that's the adrenals, but I'm going to do some muscle balancing of the muscle here. And then I'm going to, on the back side, I'll be working on the sacroiliac joint and the spine, doing my other muscle work and adjustments, etc. But to confirm that this in fact is the adrenals, there's another nice, easy, very effective test that I like, and that is normal physiology would dictate that if you put a joint under stress, the joint will actually get stronger to resist the stress. But somebody who's losing the battle to stress, the ligaments will be weaker and the joint will lose its integrity. So what I'm saying is there's an intimate connection between the adrenal glands and ligaments of the body. And that's another reason why people injure themselves when they're under stress. So I can test that very easily if I bring Nicole's arm up and I want to test the integrity of a joint, and I can do this with any joint of the body. This is just convenient. I would give it a tug, and then I would test the integrity of the muscle, and it should stay strong and actually get stronger to resist the tug. Somebody whose adrenals are really, undergoing a lot of turmoil and are really stressed out, if I tug on a joint and test, it'll just collapse. So then I know that the body's under a lot of stress. So what I want to do is I'm going to supply the adrenals with what it needs. Do I need to tonify them? Do I need to bring down the cortisol levels? I want to give the appropriate remedy there. If the person is under a lot of emotional stress, I like Bach flower remedies. I'll find the exact one for that individual that helps their nervous system balance out. I also could use color. Generally, if somebody is sympathetically dominant to where they're just really stressed out, maybe high blood pressure, something in the blue tones would probably be more appropriate for that person. But I want to find out precisely what that individual needs. Everybody is different. So if we don't deal with the stress component of this and just do the physical manipulations, chances are not real good that it will hold. Because remember, we're dealing with joints that are compromised to begin with. So thank you for watching, and check out my website, crawfordnaturalhealthcenter.com.